Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the San Antonio Football Network, the Caballeros Conexion edition. Thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. In this video, I have a very special guest. He is quarterback Nate Hayden of the San Antonio Caballeros. Good evening, Nate. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Hey, how are you? I'm good.
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so let's get into it. So I understand that you grew up in Flower Mound, Texas. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so where is that at?
It's just north of the Dallas Fort Worth area. Probably like 30, 40 minutes north of downtown Dallas.
Okay, excellent. So, growing up in that area, how has football shaped your life, and what does it mean to you to now represent your home state with the San Antonio Caballeros?
Man, I think living here is everything. I think Texas in general, football is king your whole life. It's everything. You eat, sleep, breathe it. I think especially Dallas has a really strong football culture. I think that's pretty well known. And I think just for me, you're already seeing it, getting involved with it 4 or 5 years old, you're already playing flag football, 7-on-7. And then on top of that, you're at the high school games, out in the grass, playing tackle football with the other kids. Like it's Texas, and especially I think DFW has a huge football culture, and it's kind of just, it's ingrained into you from a young age. And so my whole life has been football since I was 4 or 5 years old. And I've played it since then. I personally fell in love with it, and have made it, just a huge passion of mine, and something that I do in some sort of fashion probably every day since I was 4 or 5 years old.
Wow. Okay. So, I understand that you earned NJCAA First Team All American honors at Minnesota State Community and Technical College in 2021. And Minnesota happens to be my home state. So, I was very, very excited to see that there. Uh, so, what was the key to your success there, and how did that experience prepare you for the next steps in your career?
I love that question. I think one of the key things that helped me was some of our Caballero coaches, Coach Mummy and Coach Stan Bedwell, were actually up there helping coach me, and I think that allowed me to learn a lot and see football from a very different perspective, because all the air raid guys, but especially them, have a very kind of specific view of football, and their opinions and ways that they go about it are a little bit different than I think other people. And I think it allowed me to see football the way they do, which very much, I don't know, I think it made me relax, play the game a little bit easier, see things for what it is. And I think that made me a better player. I also think junior college football in itself is a very different game. I've played football a lot of different levels, a lot of different places and situations, but I think JUCO football specifically, everyone loves football that's in junior college football. They wouldn't go if they didn't really love it, because you're putting yourself in a situation where you're not maybe going to be the most comfortable or have the most fun or be in the biggest city, or whatever. You're putting yourself in a rough situation for the sake of the game. And so I think everyone there really loves football, but it's a make or break season for every single player on the team. And I think with that being the case, um, it it took a different type of leadership. I had to learn everyone's there for a selfish reason, and I had to learn how to bring a group of people that are really there for a selfish reason together as a team, so that we could get to the common goal. And then that common goal was going to help all of us individually. So I think I took a huge step forward in my leadership as well.
Excellent. Excellent. So I understand that you transferred to Presbyterian College in 2022 and you took on a starting role.
Yes,
So,
sir.
what challenges did you face adapting to a new team and a system? And how do you think that growth has influenced your approach now that you're with the Caballeros?
That was a very interesting experience for me. I think I learned and took something from every place I've been and every situation I've been in. That one specifically was definitely a tough challenge. It was a new coaching staff,
Mhm.
And I think a lot of their players from the year before had left, and essentially there was only a handful of players on the entire roster, at least in starting roles, that were not freshmen. So every game was an uphill battle. And I kind of think, again, from a leadership standpoint, it's like almost in a role where I'm teaching during practice as much as I'm learning a new offense, and then I'm turning around and having to teach it as if I already know it to a lot of people. And then on top of that, you know, when the sideline's going down, I got to be the one to bring it up. If I could get hit, sacked 10 times, and at the end of the day, like, I've got to get up, pick my head off the ground and keep going. And if they see that, it'll keep them up. But if I'm out of the fight, then all the dogs are out of the fight. And so I think that's something I took from that season there.
Excellent, excellent. All right. So the IFA is a new league kicking off its inaugural season this year in May. So, what excites you most about being part of this fresh start, and how do you see it impacting football in Texas and beyond?
I think that, and Coach Stan has talked about this a lot with us. There's enough good football players out there that they could make 5 more leagues like the IFA, and there would still be quality football players in every single league. And I don't think people understand that. I think that there's a lot of times who made the NFL is so circumstantial, and the next guy up is just as good. And people like to talk about it like it's a joke to go to the UFL or the IFA or the CFL or whatever. These are dudes that legitimately, maybe in a different situation, could have made the NFL or did make the NFL and are trying to get back. These are very talented football players, and especially our roster in San Antonio. There's a lot of talented football players, and for me, I think it's a huge step up and a big opportunity for me because we have a whole lot of players on our team that made NFL or CFL rosters and made active rosters. And for me, like, I just can't even wait to get into practice and see how that feels, the speed of the game when there's that many talented players on the field. Like, what does that feel like for me?
Yes,
Reading the
sir.
defense at that level, that's a step up for me because I haven't played in the SEC or anything. So I think for me that's a huge step up, but I'm really excited just to see what that feels like. And I think the game, especially in I think in the IFA, the game is going to be a lot more quality than I think people realize. And there's a whole lot of high level coaches and high powered offenses involved in this league specifically. So I think it's going to be a very fun brand of football, and especially Coach Mummy and everybody associated with the air raid and the San Antonio Caballeros is for sure going to be a very fun, exciting brand of football that people would want to see.
You're right. 100%. 100%
Yes,
agree.
sir.
So you are joining a quarterback room that, as you just mentioned, it has a lot of talented players under the guidance of Coach Mummy, who, as we all know, is a pioneer of the air raid offense. So,
Yes,
how
sir.
do you plan to stand out in this competition and mesh with his innovative system?
Well, for me, I mean, I think what helps me is, obviously we only get a short amount of practice time before the first game. And being that I have played for them before, I know the system and I can already be that leader and teacher on the field for all of the players. And I think that's an advantage I bring. And then outside of that, I just think that I'm a very strong personality, smiley, energetic guy that's going to bring a lot of fun to the game and to the field every single day. I'm going to be the same person every day. That's just who I am. I'm always going to be enjoying football. Football is fun.
Mhm.
And then from a talent standpoint, I think that, you know, I can get through my reads. I understand what I'm doing. I'm accurate, and I have a cannon for an arm. And I think every room I've ever stepped into with football, no matter what the level, I have a right arm that stands out, and I have a personality that stands out. And I hope that to really bring that out to the fullest extent when I get to camp.
Okay. So I don't have the greatest football mind out there, but as an outsider looking in, as a quarterback, do you prefer to be under center or in the shotgun position?
I don't mind either way. I think they both have their advantages. Obviously, being in the shotgun, you're standing up. It's pretty easy to see things because nowadays people haven't you don't spend as much time under center looking up as you used to, and your depth doesn't matter as much because you're already kind of back there, and it allows you to do a lot of quick passes and stuff. I think that under center also has an advantages for me personally. I know that I really feel like when I drop from under center, I feel very loaded and ready to throw when I land at the top of my drop. I feel strong in my legs and like I can really drive the ball. And I think that a lot of times routes time up better from under center because when the passing game was invented, it was from under center. And a lot of people don't know that even when Coach Mummy first started the air raid, the base was out of 20, 21 personnel, 20 personnel, tight end, two backs type of stuff involved. And I think we're going to do some of that just because the pro scouts want to see that out of quarterbacks and things like that. So I think we're going to be doing some more under center than people realize. And um, I think there's advantages to both. I'm comfortable doing either one, and I'm excited to see what we do.
Excellent, excellent. So, San Antonio has a passionate sports community. How do you envision connecting with the fans and building a relationship with the city as a Caballeros quarterback?
I'm really excited to get down to San Antonio. I think that, there's a lot of culture and fun stuff that goes on in the city of San Antonio that I think, and it's a very different atmosphere than Dallas, most definitely. And I know that with the Caballero Academy, I'm going to be very involved in that. I'm actually going to be helping kind of coordinate camps and training sessions for across the whole city for the youth and things. So I'm going to be very involved in that. I'm actually working for a high school, like coaching a high school football program this fall after our season's over. Um, can't say where or what exactly that's all going to work out with yet, but I will actually be probably coaching a school in the city of San Antonio after our season's over. So I'm going to be very involved in the community. And again, I'm the type of guy that if I ever got a message like, hey, this is an event going on, or hey, we'd love you to pop out and talk to these kids or come train these people, I'm if I can make it, I'm there. I love being out and about. I love talking. I love being involved. I'm a personable guy. Anybody can talk to me. Anybody can text me. Anybody can come up to me. And so I'm excited to get down there and get involved.
Excellent. So, your journey has taken you from junior college to Division One, and now to professional football in the IFAs. What has been the most valuable lesson that you've learned along the way that you'll carry into this season?
Play the next play. That's a Coach Mummy special right there. Just play the next play. I took a lot of lessons from my time with them in junior college that really helped me out. I'm a never give up, never say die guy. I'm tough. Pick myself up off the ground and just play the next play. Pick six, play the next play. Touchdown, play the next play. Just keep going. I think that my journey's been different than most people's in football, and I've been all over the place. And for me, it's just I have a lot of self belief and a lot of confidence. And so no matter what's happened, it's always been just keep going, just play the next play, just play the next play. And so I think that's a big thing.
Excellent. So you said that you have played all over the place. Where have you played other than junior college and Presbyterian? I understand it was overseas you played.
I did. I played in Germany last summer, and that was a really cool experience. So did our receiver Isaiah Harris. We actually played on the same team
Oh,
in Germany this past summer.
right. So how was football in Germany different than here in the United States?
So, the Americans that go out to play in Europe are full-time employees and athletes for the organizations, but the local players, they're only it's for fun for them. They're doing it after work.
Oh, wow.
So you don't practice every day. And sometimes there's even weeks between games, and they have summer holiday where they're like not around, and it's okay. How are we going to get these guys ready to play? And I think that it's, going to junior college, that was one type of room and atmosphere I had to learn how to lead in. Then going to Division 1 school, but everyone's a freshman, that's another room I got to figure out how to take over and lead. How am I going to get this going? Um, I've been in other rooms where, there's already a starting quarterback and I've got to figure out how I'm going to take it over, but still be friends with everybody and lead. And then I go to Germany and there's a whole different culture, different language. How am I going to take, and there's guys on the team that are 35, 36, 37 years old. How am I going to take this over and lead? And I felt like I was able to do that really well and become friends with the guys and become super involved and it not make it where it was just Americans and Germans, but we were all one team.
Mhm.
And I think that showed on the field. And I think it was the best season that the team had had in like 8 years or something like that. And I felt like, it was a whole team effort, but I think it really helped that we were able to come together versus just being like, oh, this is the American show or these are the German. Like we were one team, and so that was it was very different to you know learn how to adapt and relate to them. But I thought we did a good job of it on our team.
Nice. I mean, it sounds like you are pretty well rounded and pretty well traveled when in your experience. So, how was it like playing in Germany with the language barrier? Was there a lot of people who did speak English? I'm assuming.
Yeah, so they don't they don't want to speak English like the regular most of the citizens around the area, but the team, the organization will speak English, and obviously, pretty much everyone in Europe knows how to speak English because
Hmm.
it's, I guess, the EU and everything. Um, and they know when we're around to speak English, and so we called the plays are in English because I think they learned football in English because we invented football. So when they're learning the terminology of and learning the game, they're learning it in English because they're learning, from our YouTubes and things.
Right.
And so it's funny, like sometimes they'll be talking in German and then they'll say like a football term in English, and I'm like, okay, I know what they're talking about now. I know what's going on. And but when they spoke to us, they spoke in English, and it was really interesting experience. It was very cool.
Nice. That sounds pretty awesome. Right. So, the Caballeros are aiming to establish a strong identity in their first year. And as a quarterback, which is usually the go to person, the face of the franchise, how do you see yourself contributing to that both on and off the field?
I think that I've always heard that a lot of times the team the team basically adapts the personality of their head coach and a lot of times also the quarterback. And I know Mummy's a tough guy. The air raid is a strong brand, and I know that I'm also a tough guy, and I have a big personality as well. And like I said, I hope everyone can hear me and feel me every time I'm on the field. And then on top of that, I think that, like I said, I really want to be involved in the community and helping grow football and teach football and just make friends with people everywhere. And I think that I hope at least that my willingness to talk and be involved and be engaged in the community will help our brand as a team grow and really help us be the city's team.
Yes. So, looking ahead to the season, what's your personal goal as a quarterback, and what would you define as success for the Caballeros in this inaugural season?
I think everybody wants to win. I think, just looking at the league right now, I think we have one of the strongest rosters, and I think that we should expect to win. And I know Coach Mummy, he won in the spring league, so he expects to win this one too. And so I hope that I can bring leadership and talent on the field and get the ship going where it's supposed to go and manage the games and minimize mistakes. And I don't like to put expectations on myself as far as I'm going to throw for this many yards or I'm going to do this or I'm going to get this award. That comes with winning. First, I have to win the job.
Yep.
I win the job, we got to win the first game. Then we have to win the second game, and then all that other stuff takes care of itself. And I think at the end of the day, if I manage the game and I minimize mistakes and I do what I'm supposed to do with my job, and we always play the next play and continue to win, then eventually all those other things take care of themselves.
Excellent. So, who is Nate off the field? What do you like to do in your off time? What
Oh
little off
man.
time you have?
Oh, I mean, honestly, I do a whole lot of football even when I'm off. I mean, even when I'm done working out and throwing and doing this and that, I'm training kid after kid after kid. I'm coaching 7-on-7. I'm here, I'm there. I'm very active, energetic. I'm a 5 a.m. no coffee, jumping up and down kind of guy. That's just who I am. I'm like this all the time, and I'm always doing something involving football somewhere. I mean, I'll be on 10 different fields in one day. Just love the game, love being around it. Other than that, I love to fish. I'm a huge outdoorsman. I love fishing and doing things in the outdoors. And I'm getting married in a few weeks, and I'm going to enjoy hanging out with my wife.
Oh,
So that'll be a lot of fun too.
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, that is awesome. So I'm assuming she's a big supporter of yours, right?
Absolutely.
All right. And she keeps you in line and keeps you in check.
Yeah, she kind of has to. Like I said, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. She's the one to be like, "Yo, it's time to bring it down."
Excellent, excellent. So after football, because we all know that football careers are regrettably short. So do you have any plans for post football life?
I'm gonna coach 100%. I want to coach, and I really want to coach high school in Texas. I would
Nice.
love to be. I would love to be a head coach, athletic director, at a big high school in Texas. And then obviously there's steps and things that you have to do first to get there. Again, I'm starting the process and planning to start it this fall in San Antonio right after our season ends. And the way I view it is that's a free facility to work out at every day to be ready if I do get the call to up to the next level, or if I was to play again and for the Caballeros the next year, I'm ready and I've already got a free facility. And I think the beauty of the IFA being in the summer is it doesn't interfere and I can do both.
Excellent, excellent. So, personal level in San Antonio, what is your favorite places to eat at?
Ooh, I mean, so I love Mexican food,
Of
and
course.
my fiance, she really loves Mexican food. In fact, she pretty much only eats Mexican food. So I'm sure that we'll have a easy time finding places we like when we get down there, and I'm excited. I know everyone says the food's a little spicier there, so
I don't think it's that bad, but I have a pretty high
I
spice.
bet. Been there a while, right?
Yes, sir.
Get
Yes,
used
sir.
to it. I'm
Yes.
excited though. I love food. I like to eat, so I'm excited
So,
to. I've heard there's
have
good food.
you?
I heard there's the best barbecue and best Mexican food in the state. So that calls my name. That calls my name.
So, have you been to San Antonio before?
Um, I've been a handful of times, but never for a long period of time. So
Okay. Okay. Well, we're looking forward to you coming back here in San Antonio, playing for the local team. And we understand that the Caballeros are a local team, that you guys will be staying here. We understand that you're going to be involved in the community. So, and trying to be uh, the team for San Antonio. And I'm sure that you're going to be a very integral part of that process.
yes, sir. I hope so.
All right, Nate. Is there anybody that you like to give a shout out, or is there any organizations that you would like to recognize as we call it a day?
Yes, I'll just say everyone needs to check out the Caballero Academy when we get that running, and I think that's going to be a huge part of getting the city ingrained in the with the team, and making that one community, and it's going to be our players running camps and coaching younger athletes across the city, and so I think that'll be a great opportunity for everyone that's involved in football across the city. And I'll also shout out who I currently work for. It's Ryan Roberts Quarterback Training, RRQB. It's a 7-on-7 organization, training company up here in DFW. Great organization to get involved with. Great people. Love the Lord and ready.
Excellent.
Everyone wants to serve, and I think that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And that's what I want to do when I get down there.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, Nate, I'm very excited to be able to see you in action here. It's only just couple months away, a very short period of time before we see you out there. I'm sure you'll soon be a fan favorite here in San Antonio.
I hope so. I hope to be. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Nate, for joining me. I greatly appreciate you taking time out of your schedule.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you.
Yes, sir. All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you.
And that was Nate Hayden, quarterback for the San Antonio Caballeros. If you found this interview to be informative and entertaining, please let me know by hitting that like button below. And if you happen to stumble across this video on YouTube and it caught your attention and you'd like to know more about the Caballeros and the IFA in general, please consider subscribing to this channel to keep up to date on all things San Antonio Caballeros. Well, that's it for this video. I think it's time for this caballa to be put into the corral, at least until the next interview and the next video. Until then, San Antonio, Montemos, let's ride.